The Marvels has been confirmed to carry a budget of $274.8 million, ladies and gentlemen.
You gotta add that 0.8. It's really important.
The funny part about this is like the news sites are all running cover for them because they're like, but they got a $55 million subsidy, which brings the budget down to $219 million. All movies get subsidies. You're not making Hollywood movies if you're not getting government subsidies. So the fact that they're including it just makes it feel like, look, the budget's not that high. The budget's not that high. The other thing is funny is they say that it's going to take $440 million just to break even at the box office, and I just no.
You think that's BS?
Look, if what they're trying to tell me is that includes marketing, I guess, but usually marketing is not included when they talk about these numbers. So if we were adding the typical, times 1.5 to the budget of $274 million, that comes to $411 million. So that means it would take about $822 million roughly to break even. If you subtract the $55 million subsidy, it's like $767 million to break even. Disney does have one thing going for it, which is that they take home a larger percentage of the box office than other studios in the first 3 weeks. So like any big name Disney movie, like a Marvel movie, a Star Wars movie, they take home 65% of the box office on week 1, 55 on week 2. I think this is still true. They never actually confirm these things, but this is what many people have told me, that they take home about 65% of the box office in the first week, 55 in the second week, 50 in the third, and then 50 from there out, which is funny because all these movies are like front loaded to make like most of their money in that first week anyways. So the studios end up getting screwed.
I'm just not buying that enough people care about this movie to see it opening weekend or in that first week. I really don't. And I think some of the reason why people think it was a lower budget is because Vanity Fair reported that it cost, I think, $130 million, which is a joke. The entire thing was green screens. The entire thing is them in space.
Yep.
That's going to cost a lot of money. And not to mention big star Brie Larson.
Yeah.
What is she going to cost? So they're lauding the director, Nia DaCosta, for being the first Black woman to direct an MCU film, and also the youngest. I think she was 30 when she got the job, and she's an indie filmmaker with not much experience. She's basically an amateur.
She did Candyman with from Jordan Peele like 3 years ago now.
So this Vanity Fair article says, Nia DaCosta, barrier-breaking director of the Marvels, on navigating the blockbuster machine. Quote, the thing I've been most surprised by lately is how much respect I've been getting from these middle-aged white dudes I'm working
You're
with.
off to it's literally doing exactly what Brie Larson did during the promotion for the first one, which was talking about how I don't need a 40-year-old white dude to tell me what there isn't to like about A Wrinkle in Time or whatever. Like, they're doing it again.
With the SAG strike, you don't even need the help of the actors to tank the PR for a movie. The directors are going to do it for you. And she's taken this opportunity to complain as much as possible about her experiences being a small-time director.
What'd she say?
As she awaits the release of The Marvels in November, Nia DaCosta has decamped from social media. Captain Marvel, which was directed by Anna Boden and Ryan Fleck, may have been an enormous hit, but it was only one of the few female-fronted films in the studio's universe, and not coincidentally, the recipient of sexist vitriol from the darkest corners of the fandom.
Which is, of course, ignoring the fact that it's a traditional response to somebody who has a lot of bad press. We're seeing it right now with Rachel Zegler and the way that she has been combative, or her words have been taken a certain way. Well, you look at that, ladies and gentlemen!
He's here.
How you doing, buddy?
Frustrated.
Frustrated?
Yeah.
A lot of traffic?
Yeah.
The traffic is so like.
Are there crashes right now?
No, but you can't rely on Google Maps. I left my place like a little bit before 2.
Yeah.
Normally it only takes like 35 minutes to get here. I got to the corner where the light is, and I sat there for a half an hour.
There are people just lined up there all hours of the day.
Nightmare.
Well, at least you're here
And embarrassing, because now I look like a schmuck.
No,
okay.
It's everyone knows. Like right now, that's a huge problem. Is the traffic has been.
He said, "Get your
awful
ass in gear, Flip."
I know, right?
Yep.
Aren't you an adult? You're supposed to be on time.
Yes, exactly. But yeah. So
Anyway, we're talking about the Marvels right now to get you up to date.
Sick.
And
$274 million budget. I assume before marketing, because nobody's been willing to confirm otherwise.
Yes.
So it's going to need to make like $700 or $800 million to break even, and the director's out here doing her level best to like ruin it for everyone.
And it's still Brie, right?
Yes.
And
Yes,
like she's still terribly unlikable, right?
Honestly, the director's doing a better job of being unlikable.
Well, Brie isn't allowed to talk about the movie right now. I'm sure if she were allowed to talk about the movie, she'd be complaining too.
Isn't the this might be a little bit off topic, but isn't the strike almost over? Or don't they have like the end in sight?
Yeah,
or
we'll
something?
get to that later.
Yeah, we're going
but
to talk about that.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
It says, as for the Marvels, it centers on 3 women, including the first Muslim superhero in one of the MCU movies.
Again, that's not a selling point for a movie.
Whatever, I don't care.
It doesn't. That doesn't. No one's trying
Is
to be
she going to
rude.
be praying 5 times a day in space?
Nobody's trying to be rude. They're just saying that doesn't sell tickets to movies. It's just not how that works. So,
how do you know which way to face when you're praying 5 times a day in space?
In space?
How do you know which way the Mecca is? Like, how do you know? Quote, I'm just girding myself for it, says director. I'm a sensitive soul, and I think maybe more of us are than we want to admit. And she complained about her experience directing Candyman. On sets, she's noticed that the way she's been spoken to or heard is different than it would be for someone who doesn't look like her.
again, she doesn't know that because she's not someone who doesn't look like her.
Sometimes, as a black woman, you realize that people think you take up more space than you actually do, or your voice sounds louder to people than it actually is, or your tone is more stern than it actually is. On Candyman, she says that some ridiculous things happened on that set, with crew members saying things that are super inappropriate that you would just never say to anyone else because they were so specific to my gender, my race, and my age.
Did she give
Were the
examples?
crew members just being like, you're a black 28-year-old woman, and I don't like you because of that. Because otherwise, I don't believe her.
I don't either.
It's all about perceptions, you know? And if you constantly assume that other people are underestimating you, you're a bit of a narcissist.
Yeah, that was like, that. Know what it is like back in the day, it was like you wanted to be underestimated because you wanted to prove everyone wrong. Now you want to be underestimated so that you can complain about it and tell people how you're being underestimated. It also gives you an out when things don't work out.
Yeah, I think women should take advantage of moments when they're underestimated, and men should take advantage of moments when they're overestimated in their abilities.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
Take advantage of when they're overestimated? Elaborate.
How would that
I mean,
work?
if it's true that men walk into a room and their abilities are overestimated for just being male.
Fake it till you make it.
Fake it till you make it.
Yeah,
and if you're a woman and you supposedly get underestimated because of your gender, then prove everyone wrong. It's a win-win situation.
I did the fake it till you make it for 2 whole record cycles. That's like 5 years.
There you go. There's nothing wrong with
it's
that.
a real thing.
Well, no, because like these are some of the actual weird existential thoughts that I have all the time. Like I literally sit there and I listen to people talk. I'm like, a lot of times conversation is just like, it just is, and it doesn't actually matter if it's real, like whether the conversation you're having is real or true or fake or whatever. It is literally just perception, and you can kind of use that to your advantage as long as you don't interpret the world super rigidly. And those are the type of things that get lost in my brain. They're very, very in my brain, it makes perfect sense, but explaining it outward is very, very difficult.
Sure.
But it's like if you watch enough media, and it's kind of like the downside of what we do, which is like you consume media constantly, all words start to blend together, and then nothing feels like it matters anymore. So it's like to a lot of people, I'm just like you say this because I get really, really worried about whether I'm saying the right thing or not all the time. Then you realize a lot of time that it doesn't matter because there's so much noise in the world that it all gets drowned out.
Yeah, I mean, that if you've ever been subject to a pile on Twitter, that is kind of what it's like. It seems like, oh, the whole world is mad or whatever, blah blah blah. But then if you put your phone down and go do something else, like go out in the regular world and don't open up any social media, it's nothing. I mean, I've gotten heat because of stuff that I said, and you know, there's blogs writing stuff about me, hating on me, people on Twitter hating on me, and it's the truth is, if you put the phone down and go do something else, nobody knows. Like it's as if it doesn't happen. Twitter isn't real life. I do understand that, you know, it can affect you if you're, you know, constantly steeped in it, but you can just leave it alone.
I think that they're trying to Ghostbusters 2016 the Marvels.
Yeah, I mean they do that with all the Marvel.
It's not a successful formula.
Everything's built into it. And we're gonna be talking more about that later.
Yeah.
But for this movie, again, this movie made the first movie supposedly made $1 billion. I still press X to doubt on that one.
Wait, what
The Captain Marvel made $1 billion. But at the end of the day, the sad fact is, there's that phrase again.
$1 billion for a movie about a bully woman.
This is not the same Marvel that existed in 2019 and 2018. This is not the same company at all. It doesn't have the public sentiment that it had before. It doesn't have the track record of nothing but blockbusters and hits that it had before. It's coming off tons of bad press through Disney, tons of bad press because all of the Disney Plus shows have been hit or miss at best, if not just miss. And the movies are all kind of middle of the road. The only one that anybody seemed to really care about was Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, and that's because that's a creation of James Gunn, who's rules that franchise with an iron fist. So I don't see this making anywhere near its money back, which, like I said, looks like it has to be about $750 million.
We've got a $20 super chat from John Stewart. Says, "Hi Brett, hi Mary, ... Phil. Why you always calling me out on IRL? My DMs are open. Just talk to me, bro. Been a fan a long time. Love ya."
I love you too. Is this the Jon Stewart from The Daily Show?
That'd be great.
That'd be cool.
Because I do.
He's a fan of the show.
I have talked some smack about Jon Stewart from The Daily Show. Jon Stewart made a career out of going like a whole ass career at a. Like plays a video of something silly and then just makes a dumb face, and
they're like, he's British and he makes a funny face.
I will say there's somebody who did that better, and that was Norm Macdonald after he would deliver a punchline.
Norm Macdonald, but he had so much. There was so much content what he said too. So
great. The Norm Macdonald line delivery and then stare at the camera was masterfully done. Rest in peace, Norm Macdonald.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.